All right, y'all, I just had a fabulous sales weekend, so let's talk about what sold. Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is MOGIBETH, and for those of y'all who are new here, I own a six-figure reselling business selling women's clothing on places like Poshmark, eBay, and Tradesy. And in today's video, we are talking about what sold over the weekend. And I am including Friday in the weekend, so we're going to discuss what sold Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, September 24th through the 26th in my reselling business. Y'all, it was a good sales weekend, which was very much needed because, hello, we're in Q4, and this is the time in which sales are supposed to be at their highest. So I was anticipating sales to bump up, and luckily they are for us because we had a really slow summer since I was preoccupied with my dad's health, and I couldn't list that much this summer. So I've been back on it, been really consistent, which I'm very happy about, and it's showing up in our sales. But one thing that really helped with our sales is that I sent offers to likers on my entire closet on Friday. I sent 30% off with discounted shipping of $1.50 on everything. And I did that easily using a automation service that I've talked about on here. I'll link it down in the description below, but I've received so many DMs from y'all talking about how much this has helped in your reselling business, and it's really helped in mine too. It just automates so many of the functionalities on Poshmark that really humans don't need to be doing. Clicking buttons over and over and over again, to me, is a waste of a precious human time on earth. So I'm glad that I have this service. It's Posher VA. You can use my code MOGIBETH if you want to try it out. You can try it for 2 weeks, and I really think that just giving it a try, if you haven't already, you'll see it is worth the investment. But again, there'll be a link in the description below. But I sent out those offers, and so that helped my sales both on Friday and on Saturday, and I had sales on Poshmark, eBay, and Tradesy, so we're gonna go over all of them. At the end of the video, I'll share my total sales number and my total profit, but I'm not gonna break it down for each sale because we have a lot of them to go. So without further ado, let's jump into what sold this weekend. I got some green tea here. It is raining outside, so let's go. Okay, so I woke up on Friday morning to actually quite a few sales, which was great because Friday, to me, sometimes is a really slow sales day. And so when I have a good start, that is very promising. But the first item that I sold was this new tag Nicholas velvet belted jumpsuit. Nicholas is definitely a Bolo brand. It's a mid-tier luxury brand that does really well. I had it listed for $350, and I went back and forth with the buyer, and we landed on a price sold of $225 with free shipping, and I only had this listed for 19 days. So that was a really good sale with a really good sell-through rate and a really good sales price that I'm happy with. And then I woke up to this sale as well, a new tag Lovers and Friends Dexter mini dress. I had actually had this for quite a while. I had it listed for $75, and it sold to an offer to liker that was automated, thanks to, again, Posher VA, of 20% off for $60 and discounted shipping of $1.50. But I had this listed for 485 days. Not great, but I think that's really due to the fact that there was a flaw on this item, but I'm not really quite sure because there was definitely a lot of demand and interest for that dress. So before we proceed, a couple things. First of all, a lot of things on this list you'll see I've had listed for a long time, and that's something that I see is that if I list it maybe a year ago today and it didn't sell in the fall, winter of that year, I oftentimes have to wait another full year and then it will sell in the next season. And that just happens sometimes. And then the second thing is a lot of these things are new or new at tag, and if you watch my channel, you understand that I do source through liquidation and retail arbitrage, and so a lot of the items that I sell are in that condition, but there are definitely quite a few thrifted items on this list as well. If you're interested in learning more about liquidation, I've done a video on it, which I'll link up on the screen. So this next item I actually had purchased through retail arbitrage quite a while ago. In fact, I had purchased it in my Black Friday haul, which I will link up on the screen. almost 2 years ago. So, you know, not a great sell-through rate, and that is a pair of New Attack Reformation cigarette jeans. And there are certain brands in which jeans are the worst performing category within that brand. For Reformation, I find that their jeans are the worst performing category. Veronica Beard is another brand like that, and that actually shows up on this list as well later on. But oftentimes brands are just known for certain categories, and Reformation is definitely known for their dresses. Veronica Beard is known for their blazers and their dresses. So when that's the case, oftentimes their denim just doesn't do as well. But I was happy with this sale. You know, it took a while, but when it did sell, I was happy. I had it listed for $100 and it sold to an offer to liker that was sent while I was sleeping for $80 with a discounted shipping of $1.50, but it was listed for 674 days. All right, the next sale was an offer that someone had sent to me. When I woke up to it, I went ahead and accepted. It was a New Attack Free People Like a Lady printed mini dress. I had this listed for $75 and received an offer for $40. I went ahead and accepted it because it had been listed for 428 days, and also it's more of a summer springtime dress, and since we're heading into the fall and winter, I don't mind taking lower offers on those items, and so I went ahead and accepted that sale. I was happy with it. But the next sale was definitely something that I had listed for a much shorter period of time, and I have sold this style so many times. This was a new Madewell Kent cardigan in Coziest yarn. I've sold this like countless times. I had it listed for $50 and I sold it for $35 after just 7 days. So it was only listed 1 week, and it's really kind of a perfect item to be listing right now since we're heading into colder weather. The next sale was a bundle sale, and I had actually at least a couple or a few bundle sales on this list. These were both items that I had listed recently, but these were both items that I received in liquidation that I wouldn't necessarily pick up at the thrift store. But one of the things about liquidation is you oftentimes just have to sell things that you otherwise wouldn't, because you don't get to hand select what you receive in liquidation pallets. That is the nature of liquidation, and so oftentimes, especially when it's unmanifested, it's a gamble. And so you just have to kind of roll with the punches. So both of these things, I'm very happy that sold. They didn't sell for a lot though, and therefore I wouldn't have hand selected them. But the first was this new Leaf wrap sweater that I listed for $20. And then the next was this new Max Studio rib knit sweater. I had that one listed for $30. And together they sold in a bundle for $35 with a discounted shipping of $1.50. I had the Leaf sweater listed for 7 days and the Max Studio sweater listed for 3 days. I will say Max Studio is a brand that has surprised me just how consistently it sells. It doesn't sell for a lot, but for whatever reason it just sells fairly consistently, especially on eBay. So it might be something that you want to experiment with. If you see a recent style that's cute at the bins or something, you might want to experiment with Max Studio. I don't know, it's just constantly surprised me in how well it's performed. Okay, so the next sale was another sweater that I had listed this week, and I was really consistent this past week. I listed 30 per day every single day, and you know, some of these sales were because of it. So this was a sweater that was flawed, and so I listed it low on purpose, but it's a brand I actually do like selling from time to time. It was a One State balloon sleeve sweater. I had it listed for $30. I would have listed it higher if it wasn't flawed, and it sold for $20 with discounted shipping after just 2 days. So that was a good sell-through rate. Not a great sales price, but it being flawed and it selling so soon, I'm still happy with that sale. And then the next is another liquidation sale of something that I wouldn't necessarily pick up at the thrift store, but I'm happy it sold. And I have a bunch of these, so if you or your friend are in the market for some like good solid basics, especially workwear, I have a bunch that I just listed this past week that are Nordstrom in-house brands, and this being one of them. This is 1901 stretch ankle split hem pants that I had listed for $30, and they were my first sale from those 30% offers that I sent out. So sold for 30% off for $21, discounted shipping of $1.50 after just 3 days. Not mad about that. Next was a pair of shoes I have had for so long. This is a brand that's sold sometimes at Anthropologie, so I think that's why I picked it up. Man, I've been looking at this listing in my closet for ages. Okay, it was a pair of French sole mesh embroidered flats. I sold them for $70 with discounted shipping of $1.50, and I was so grateful when I sold them. They had been listed for 802 days. Some of y'all have not been even reselling that long. I mean, probably a lot of y'all. And to be honest, that's not even the thing that was listed longest on this list. So just buckle up. There's even older items. So actually the longest item is in this next sale, which was a bundle sale. Okay, the longest item I had listed on this list of what sold was this Bella Doll chambray button down top. I actually thrifted this top when I came to Portland to visit to see if I wanted to live here. And so I listed this on November 17th, 2018. And I've relisted this top several times, like so many times. I had it listed for 1,042 days. That's just crazy to me. So yes, I was very happy to see it go, and I was willing to sell it for a loss. I just wanted to make some of my money back, but I sold it within this bundle. So sold that in the bundle, sold this new Court and Row striped crew neck sweater that had only been listed for 8 days, and then this new Chelsea 28 turtleneck sweater that had been listed for 201 days. So I listed that last season. And this sold in a bundle altogether for $35, which again, with discounted shipping of $1.50, which, you know, not great by any means, but I was just really happy to see those 3 pieces find a new home, especially the Bella Doll button down top. And I think I've said this recently in a video, but chambray, I just wouldn't recommend picking it up within any brand right now. It just not a quick seller by any means, and so I passed on chambray in the thrift store, but I was very happy to see that top find a new home. Okay, so the next, and I think you're gonna see this pop up several times in this video, was from this Revolve sample inventory that I acquired, which was really interesting to process and to list. And if you ever get your hands on sample inventory and have questions about it, feel free to ask me in Instagram DMs, or just go look at my listings and see what I decided to do, because deciding how to list sample inventory is a little bit different. But this was a Camila Coelho, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, skirt set, and I couldn't find the listing anywhere. It might have never been produced, but it was listed for $125. And I received an offer, a counter offer from my 30% off offer to Liker, which was $87. I received an offer for $80. And so I went ahead and accepted it. It had been listed for 88 days, which isn't that long. It's a little less than 4 months, but I went ahead and accepted that. The next sale was a New Tag Sea Folly bikini top, a tube top. And Sea Folly is a really great swimwear bolo brand to know. It sells really well for me. And I am accepting a lot of offers on swimwear right now just because it's September. But this sold in my offers to Likers for 30% off. I had it listed at $50, so it sold at $35 with discounted shipping, and it sold after 226 days. Next was a pair of new Wild Fox 70s banquet jogger sweatpants. I got these in Wichita actually when I went back a while ago. I had them listed for $30 and had sent a 20% off offer before sending 30% off offers. So a buyer accepted that with discounted shipping, and those had been listed for 190 days. Wild Fox is a brand that used to perform really well, was in really high demand, sold quickly, but over the past 2 years it's just steadily declined in demand and for, I think, average sales price. So just something to keep in mind. I'm definitely much more selective when it comes to Wild Fox nowadays, but I still will pick it up from time to time. I just always make sure to check comps before I do. Okay, so the next sale was a pair of New Tag Aloe Yoga High Waist Vapor Leggings in camouflage. I had these listed for $90 and they sold with a 30% off offer, which I think is a great deal for $62 and discounted shipping of $1.50. I had these listed for 163 days. Next was a dress. It's so cute. It's a retrofit dress, and if y'all know about retrofit, they typically have fully sequined dresses. They're really known for a robe dress that Taylor Swift has worn, but in this particular style, this is a denim dress. It's called the Willa dress, and I had it listed for $350, and I sent out the 30% off offers and received a counter to the 30% off offer, and so I think the seller and I went back and forth a little bit and landed on $225 with free shipping. And I only had this listed for 19 days, so for retrofit that's actually a really good sell-through rate, because typically more expensive pieces take longer to sell, but retrofit I think is an exception, especially with certain styles, and this style was in high demand and received a lot of interest. So I was really happy with that sale, and such a cute dress. Okay, so the next sale was actually also another one state sale, but these also I think were a little bit flawed. I had them listed for a while. I had them listed at $30 and they sold with the 30% off for $21 with discounted shipping, and it sold after 283 days. So again, I think that's a case where I listed it last season and it didn't sell, and so entering this fall winter season it sold. Okay, the next dress, actually the next two dresses, are really a category that I want to talk a lot about, and I'm going to dedicate an entire video to it next week. So make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel, give this video a thumbs up, because this is a category in which I've received a lot of sales from over the past year or so, and I've learned a lot about. So this was a Desi collection off the shoulder draped gown, and this is a brand I think I've seen in the thrift store quite a bit and would just pass on it, along with a bunch of others in this category, just because it was a category that was really foreign to me for a long time, and that is formal wear or evening wear or wedding bridesmaid gowns and dresses. So this I had listed for $100 and it sold for $70 with discounted shipping of $2.46, and it sold after 144 days. The next dress, similar situation. It was Alfred Sung dress, which was a belted deep V bridesmaid dress that I had listed for $100. It sold for $70 with discounted shipping of $2.46 after 149 days. So you're gonna see this category pop up again and again on this list. And again, I'm gonna go into Bolo brands, things to keep in mind with this category next week, so stay tuned for that video. The next was a pair of Lululemon sweatpants that I had thrifted. These were men's sweatpants, and I really do enjoy selling men's Lululemon. I had these listed for a while, but I was really kind of waiting for a certain price. I had them listed for $70 and I really wanted to receive at least $55 for them, but they were just taking so long to sell that I eventually just accepted an offer I received on them for $40, and so it took 233 days to sell. But Lululemon, I don't think I have anything Lululemon in my closet currently. It's just a brand like I can't keep in stock, and I always think that's a good sign. Yeah, it's on my closet. It is all sold. I don't have a single Lululemon piece available, which will change hopefully rather soon, since I found one Lululemon piece at the bins that Crossroads didn't accept. If you've watched that YouTube video, which I'll link up on the screen, that I posted last week, I went on my Instagram stories and shared what Crossroads had accepted, and for some reason they did not accept the Lululemon shorts, but after checking comps on those shorts, they actually sell really well. So I'm kind of glad they didn't take them. I should have probably accepted an offer on these earlier than I did, but I eventually just settled for selling them for $40. The next sale was a brand I covered in my bread and butter brand video that I will again link up on the screen, and this is a New Tag Eliza J v-neck scalloped lace sheath dress. I had this listed for $60 and actually received an offer from a buyer for $40 and accepted it. it didn't have a shipping discount, and it sold after 228 days. So not a super fast sell-through rate on that one, but Eliza J sometimes can sell really quickly. Sometimes it just sits a little while, but I just feel like it's a brand that I know is gonna eventually sell. It just, for some reason, I just have no doubt in my mind if I get it new or new tag that it will eventually find a home. The next is a new attack Z by Zella fleece turtleneck pullover. This is kind of a case where I received it in liquidation and it doesn't retail for a lot, so I couldn't resell it for a lot, and it took a while to sell. I had it listed for $25 and it sold for 30% off for $17 with discounted shipping of $1.50 after 349 days. So yeah, I'm just happy to see it go, happy to see it find a new home. I have a bunch of Zella pullovers that I kept from liquidation. They're super comfy. The next sale that I mentioned earlier is a new tag Veronica Beard Debbie exposed fly jeans. These are pink jeans, really cute, high-waisted. I had them listed for $165 and they sold through those 30% offers to likers for $116 with free shipping after 407 days. So again, I mentioned this earlier, but jeans by Veronica Beard, for whatever reason, it's just the worst performing category by that brand. That doesn't mean it won't sell and it won't sell for good money, but compared to the other categories like dresses and blazers and so forth by Veronica Beard, it's just the worst performing one for me. Next was a pair of new tag Next one-piece swimsuit. I had this listed for $50 and I accepted an counter offer to my 30% offer to liker for $28, and it sold after 429 days. So not fast, but again, I'm also, like I said earlier, accepting offers on swimwear right now. And then my last sale on Poshmark for Friday was this new tag blue and gray sweater that I had listed for $40 and then sold with a 30% offer to liker for $28 with $1.50 discounted shipping, which I had listed for 270 days. So another example of I listed it last season and it sold this time around. Okay, the next sale on this day, however, was on eBay. And this is a brand that you should definitely know because if you find it at the thrift store, it's definitely worth at least checking comps and potentially picking up. This is a new MacDougall V-neck ombre sequin A-line gown. This is definitely a brand I'm going to be talking about next week. And I had it listed for $300. The buyer wanted me to ship express. And on eBay, I just do free shipping on everything except for shoes. I had previously offered her, I think, $199, but then after she told me she wanted me to ship it express, this was a heavy gown, and so I said the lowest I could do was $239, and she accepted it. I paid a lot for shipping on this and shipped it out Saturday morning, but it took 144 days to sell, which isn't abnormal for MacDougall dresses. I had it listed at 300, and typically dresses that are listed that high take a little while to find a buyer, but I was really happy with this sale, and hopefully she gets it and can wear it and feels fabulous in it. But that was Friday. Those are all my sales on Friday. So the beautiful thing about sending those offers to likers on Poshmark is that the offer lasts 24 hours. So oftentimes when I send offers on Friday, I'll still be making sales from that on Saturday morning, and that was the case this weekend for sure. Okay, so let me get some tea and let's talk about Saturday. All right, so Friday was definitely the largest portion of my sales, but I actually had a really good sales day Saturday as well. So it started off with this new cut from the cloth Catherine boyfriend jeans. These had a flaw on them. I had just listed them, but I listed them low actually for $30 because of the flaw. Then received a counter offer from my offers to likers for $18, and I was on the fence. I really kind of wanted to get at least 20 for them, but I decided just to go ahead and accept it. So they sold after 5 days, which is not bad, and considering the flaw, wasn't mad about that sale. Okay, the next sale I had to really just bite the bullet and accept, but it was hard for me to do so because this was a 100% Vince cashmere crew neck sweater that I had listed for $125, which I've had it listed for quite a while, but that listing price seems low. Maybe it's not. It's been a while since I checked comps on that item, but I sent off 30% off offers to on this sweater, which would have been $87 for 125, and received a counter for 80. And I was like, man, 100% Vince cashmere sweater for 80 bucks. That's a great deal. Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and accept it. So I accepted it. I think that buyer did get a good deal, and it had been listed for 268 days. So I hope that buyer loves that sweater. It was really, I really just had to force myself to push accept, which sometimes you have to do as a reseller. A lot of times I feel like you have to do as a reseller. Just, you gotta let it go. Especially when it's been listed for that long. Okay, so the next sale was another one from that Revolve sample inventory that I mentioned, and this was an Aurora draped wrap style dress. This was another one that I kind of wanted to get a little bit more for. I had it listed for 75, and then someone countered my offers to likers for 45, and I went ahead and accepted it. I really wanted to get at least 50, but I just bit the bullet and accepted it. It had been listed for 41 days, so really not that long. But I decided to just go ahead and accept that and not worry over $5. However, there were a lot of counters, I will say, that I received from those 30% offers that were really lowball offers, and I stood my ground. I'm going to talk about this actually in my next YouTube video, but there is a happy medium between accepting offers and just selling things and letting them go, and standing your ground and understanding what your item is worth based off of comps and data. And so there were a lot of offers that just didn't end up panning out, which is okay. Like, those items will find the right buyer. That person who lowballed or countered just wasn't the right buyer for that item, and that's okay. All right, so the next was another formal wear dress, an Alfred Sung keyhole satin maxi dress that, again, I had listed for 100 and sold for 70 with discounted shipping. This one after only 11 days, which is great for that category. And then I sold a big old bundle sale of 7 items for $360. 6 out of 7 of these items were from the Revolve sample inventory. So someone just went through my closet and found a bunch of stuff from that they wanted to purchase. And I think sample inventory is actually really great, especially for people who love these brands, because you can find unique pieces that your friends won't be able to own because they're created in colors that were never produced commercially or just have slight differences. Some of the items in my sample inventory were the exact same style but in colors that were never produced, making them in some ways more rare because your friends can't own that piece. So sample inventory actually isn't always bad, especially if it's from brands that people know and love. Okay, so let's quickly go over what sold in this massive bundle. So the first were these MBD Vaseline tonal sequined embellished leggings that I had listed for $75 and were listed for 98 days. Next was this Lovers and Friends Laura one shoulder crop sweater, which I had listed also for $75 and was listed for 96 days. Next was this MBD Night Moves padded shoulder mini dress that I had listed for $150 and sold after 99 days. Next was this MBD Kayla one shoulder sleeveless crop top that I had listed for $60 and sold after 41 days. Next was this Lovers and Friends mock neck cutout crop sweater, which I had listed for $60 and sold after 94 days. Next was this MBD Alina pleated high-waisted velvet pant, which I had listed for $70 and listed for 63 days. And then the last item in this big old bundle was not from the sample inventory, but was this Vanessa Mooney Maeve chain necklace, which I had listed for $65 because it did have a flaw and it sold after 90 days. And Vanessa Mooney is a bolo brand to know, a jewelry bolo brand to know. I should actually add that to my bolo brands that I do every day on my Instagram stories. If you're not following me over there, definitely make sure you do it because I cover a bolo brand every single day on Instagram, and then I send out PDF recaps in my newsletter every week that goes out on Monday mornings. But that was a big old sale, and the buyer and I went back and forth to decide on a price, and we landed at $360 with free shipping. So I hope they love all of their items. So the next sale on Poshmark was a new tag frame stripe wool blend sweater. This was one that I listed last season that just is gonna sell this season. I listed it for $125 and it sold for 30% off for $87 with discounted shipping, and it took 334 days, so almost a full year. Next, sold to a viewer, so if you're watching, hello. I just saw your comment that you watch my YouTube videos, so thank you. It was a pair of new tag Madewell texture and thread paper bag pants. I think these pants are adorable. I had them listed for $50 and received an offer for $40, and they were listed for 291 days. Next was a new tag Lovers and Friends Carissa ruffle v-neck sweater. This was one I just listed and it had a massive flaw. It was missing one of the buttons and it didn't have a replacement button, and so I listed it really low for $30 and it sold for $20. I received an offer from that 30% off for $20 after 2 days. So got my money back on that item, but it was flawed, so I wasn't expecting to receive too much for it. Okay, so my next sale on Poshmark on Saturday was again another formal wear dress, and it was this new Alfred Zung satin high-low gown, size 14, and I had it listed for $125 and it sold for $125 with discounted shipping after just 11 days, which is great for that category, and who doesn't love a full price sale? The next sale was this Lovers and Friends strapless Illusion maxi dress, which was again from my sample inventory. I had it listed for $80 and received an offer for $55, which I accepted, and that sold after 63 days, so just a little over 2 months, which to me really isn't that bad. Okay, but speaking of pretty bad sell-through rate, these Kelsey Dagger penny patent loafers. I think I actually showed these in a YouTube haul a while ago, but I regret picking them up, and here's why. Kelsey Dagger actually is a brand that can do really well. It's sold on places like Anthropologie, but what I really look for with Kelsey Dagger now is boots. I really only specifically purchase boots by Kelsey Dagger. I've sold Kelsey Dagger boots quickly and for good money, but the other types of shoes by this designer, not so much. It's a Brooklyn-based shoe wear designer that makes really, really cute shoes, and they have been sold at Nordstrom, so you can come across them in the thrift store quite often, but just be selective when it comes to Kelsey Dagger. Learned that lesson the hard way because these sold for, I had them listed at $50, they sold for $25 after 682 days. I didn't lose money by any means, but I would not pick them up if I came across them in a thrift store today. But that was my last sale on Poshmark on Saturday. Then I had one Tradesy sale and a few eBay sales. So I actually sold a bunch of pieces on Tradesy to one buyer. One sold on Saturday and then a few sold on Sunday, and I actually sold one more today on Monday. But this was the one that sold on Saturday. It was from my Revolve sample inventory, which I think almost all the pieces that she purchased were, which has proven to be good for bundle sales, which is great. So that was an MBD Shauna woven fringe crop top that I had listed for $50, and she purchased outright on Tradesy for $50, and it had been listed for 46 days. On eBay, I sold 3 things on Saturday. eBay is the platform I'm really trying to focus on now, ramping up. I should be performing better on eBay than I am, but consistency matters so much on eBay, more so than virtually any other platform, and that's something I have been lacking over the summer, so it takes a while to really kind of get the ball rolling again on eBay, but it slowly is picking up momentum. So the first sale was actually a pair of pants that I purchased through Retail Arbitrage. I think I might have even shown them on this channel. They were new with tag Bowden Belgravia trousers. I had these for a while. I had them listed for $80 and they sold full price on eBay for $80 through a global shipping program sale, but it took 409 days for them to sell. So that's not great, but at least it ended up being a good profitable sale in the long run. Next was a Zara coat that I had thrifted and had received a ton of interest on this coat. I had it listed for $130, and then I had received tons of offers in the 70s and 80s range, but I finally decided to accept an offer on eBay for $88. And it took 151 days to sell, but I knew as soon as, you know, the weather got colder, that coat would sell. And if you come across any really on-trend coats by Zara, I would definitely recommend picking them up. Not jackets and not like short coats, but especially long coats. I mean, some jackets and short coats can do well, but especially long coats by Zara, I think are gonna do really well and tend to do really well in the fall. And then the next piece I had on eBay was another one that I had for a while, and in fact, I wore this dress to Poshfest in what must have been 2018 in Dallas. It was this Alice and Olivia Dara Lee floral cocktail party dress. I had it listed for $125 and I received an offer on eBay for $99, which was great. I accepted it. But I had it for 546 days listed, so it took a while again, but at least it had a good outcome eventually. But it's a gorgeous dress. I'm obsessed with this dress. The floral print on it is to die for, so I hope the new owner loves it as much as I did. Okay, so that takes us to Sunday, and on Sunday I had the least amount of sales, but I had some good ones. So let's dive into it, and then we'll wrap up this video with my total sales and profit numbers. So the first sale I had on Poshmark on Sunday were these new Franco Sarto Henrietta riding boots. Riding boots have been selling really well for me. All the ones that didn't sell last year are now just selling consistently for me this year. And that's the thing, is I don't really mind if, for instance, swimsuits that I listed this summer that didn't sell, I don't mind them not selling. I can just wait 6 months essentially and then relist, and they should sell, and that tends to happen for me year after year. Of course, there are some things that fall through and never sell, and but eventually they can sell. So I get this question a lot: when do I donate my items that I've listed, or when do I send them to ThredUp? Unless you have a bottleneck in terms of storage, I would just say keep it listed, keep relisting it. Eventually it will find a buyer. That's really my philosophy. And since I don't have a shortage of storage space, since I automate my sharing, I don't really have to worry too much about something not selling. Obviously it ties up my capital, which is not great, but donating it or sending it into ThredUp isn't really a solution for getting that back. So I just keep it listed, and you know, you can price it lower, you can relist it regularly, but eventually the right seller will come along if there is demand for that piece. So anyway, back to these Franco Sarto Henrietta boots. I listed them for $75 and I received an offer for $60, which I accepted. It took 244 days for them to sell, but they sold, and I'm happy about it. I'm happy that I have fall and winter inventory already listed in my reselling business that can sell now. The next sale was an Eileen Fisher stand collar zipper jacket that I had thrifted. I listed it for $90, but it was taking a while to sell and wasn't really receiving too much interest, which is kind of typical sometimes for Eileen Fisher for me. But then I received an offer for $50 and I decided to accept it, and it took 167 days to sell. The next sale was again from my Revolve sample inventory, and it was this MBD rose satin bustier fitted top. I had it listed for $85 and I received an offer for $45, which was less than what I wanted to get for this top, but I decided to let it go for that price with discounted shipping after 64 days. Can y'all hear the rain in the background? It is raining here in Portland, which I love. The next sale on Poshmark was a set of earrings. There are these Jewels by Martha Calvo Tutti Frutti earring set that I had listed for $60 and they sold for $40 after 91 days. Next was a pair of Report vegan leather duck boots that, again, same situation as the other boots. I had them listed for $35 and they sold to an offer to Liker for $28 with discounted shipping of $246 after 195 days. Next on Poshmark was this new with tag Gal Meets Glam Celeste dress. Gal Meets Glam is a brand that no longer exists, so a lot of the pieces by this brand are highly coveted, very rare, can sell for above retail. So definitely know this brand and keep your eyes out for it at the thrift store, because certain pieces can sell for a ton of money. Not all pieces, and this dress is kind of evidence of that, but there's certainly heightened demand for this brand right now. I actually had this dress for a while. I had it listed for $85 and it sold to an offer for $55 after 484 days. I think I was really kind of holding out, thinking I was going to go for more because of that, but it just wasn't a style that was in heightened demand. And then my last sale on Poshmark over the weekend was this new with tag Lovers and Friends one-piece swimsuit that I had listed for $50 and it sold for full price for $50. So that's great with discounted shipping after 125 days. So that was a great sale to end Poshmark on. And then on Tradesy, again, I sold a bunch of things to that one buyer. And this is actually something that I ran into today, which I wanted to share with y'all just in case you run into it. On Tradesy, sometimes when you sell a bunch of listings or more than one listing to the same buyer, it won't bundle them automatically, and it won't let you put the same tracking number for multiple sales. So what you can do is you can just call their customer service number. They're one of the few platforms that actually has a working customer service number. I'll just even put it right here in case you want to write it down, but you can just Google Tradesy customer service number as well and just tell them, hey, I'm shipping all of these to the same buyer under this one tracking, and they'll be able to manually add it for you. So it was an easy solution, but it was something that had me scratching my head today because I wasn't sure if I had to ship them all out separately or what the deal was, but luckily they were super helpful, which is one of the few things I love about Tradesy, because there's a lot of things I dislike about Tradesy, but that's for another video. Okay, so I sold 3 more items to the same buyer on Tradesy. The first was this new with tag NBD Candace mini bodycon dress, and I had this listed for $140. The buyer messaged me asking if I would do $90, and I said yes. I had it listed for 114 days. That was a good sale. The next was this Tula Rosa Descano cutout sweater that I had listed for $65, and since Tradesy doesn't have an offers feature, the buyer messaged me and asked if I could do $45, and I said yes and changed the price, and that was listed for 97 days. And then the last was this MAD Isla lace strapless top that I had listed for $75, and then we negotiated and landed on $50, and that was listed for 42 days. So after those sales on Tradesy, which I was very thankful for, shout out to the buyer, thank you for your purchases, I had 3 more sales on eBay on Sunday. So these were the last sales of the video. First one is this Free People If You Only Knew printed maxi dress. I think I actually featured this in a TikTok video that I posted, and if you don't follow me on TikTok, definitely do that. I'm gearing up to create more content over there. But I thrifted this and listed it for $85, and it sold for $76.50 after 19 days. So it's actually a really well-performing item over on eBay. But actually, now that I think about it, I had it listed on Poshmark for 19 days, but I think I only had it listed on eBay for a few days because there is a lag sometimes between when I cross-listed it. So it performed really well on eBay, and it just goes to show that some pieces by Free People that you thrift can still do really well, and this being one of them. Next sale on eBay was this new with tag MBD Peter lace thong bodysuit, and the same thing applies here. I listed it on Poshmark 21 days ago, but it sold I think only after a few days on eBay, but it was listed for $80 and it sold for $60. And then the final sale of this video was again from the Revolve sample inventory that I had, and it was this plunging neckline polka dot dress, and I had it listed for $60 and received an offer for $35 and decided to just go ahead and accept it, and it sold after 35 days of being listed on Poshmark, but that was probably short on eBay as well. So those were my sales from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. All of those sales resulted in a total sales number of $3,449.50, and then a profit of $2,152.66. Not too bad. That profit is after the platform fees, my cost of goods, and shipping. So that is what I will take home at the end of the day from those sales. So I ended up having $3,500 in sales over the course of those 3 days, which really isn't bad. I'm actually very happy with that. And that's kind of exactly where I want to be, is making $1,000 per day in sales. And really in September, I would have been on track to make that, but this summer was just so much happening in my personal life that everything got put on hold. And then now that I'm back into it, it's taking a while to build up to that, but by the end of the year, we should be there, which I'm very excited about. But I hope y'all found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments down below, how are your sales this weekend? Is September proving to be a really good month for you? It's proving to be a good month for us, thankfully. And let me know, were there any sales that surprised you from what I covered? I'm super curious to hear your thoughts. But I'll be back on YouTube soon, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Okay, love y'all. Bye!